and you should be communicating. What is told, one must comprehend. This should be the purpose. Comprehend and to be comprehended. If you are talking to someone and others are not able to understand, then what is the purpose? Communication will get failure. So it is better that you should acquire these properties. Now comes, friends, communicative means command over language. We should be aware. In the first slide, we have talked of language awareness. We must know when to say. Friends, during youth festival, as in different universities, youth festivals are conducted, and youth festival, we have group discussion, we have debate, we have other activities. So important thing is in group discussion, when to say, situation, when to say, where to say. Appropriateness is important thing. Unnecessarily we go on speaking, then it is of no use. Now comes to whom we communicate. I communicate with you, I communicate with my colleagues, I communicate with my seniors, I communicate with my boss. So important thing is to whom we are communicating. So again it means we find change in language. What to say. Now here comes the message, and we focus on all the time, the problem lies here, what to say. We focus on what to say, and we forget other things. So again I repeat, when to say, where to say, to whom, and how to say. How to say. Friends, I suggest you that verbal and non-verbal, 40% we communicate through words, verbal communication that is called, and 60% we communicate with the help of our body language, with the help of gestures, with the help of movement of our hands. So important thing is how to say. Sometimes we have seen that students take part in many activities and their face is flat, no expression on their face. They cram everything, they go on the stage and they go on saying blah blah blah. Does it solve any purpose? We should learn how to say. This is not the task which is to be finished in a few minutes. Important thing is how to say means you make use of verbal and non-verbal signs, communication, then it can be helpful. It will keep you relaxed. So in communicative competence, you must be aware of all these facts. When to say means whether it is appropriate or not, whether what to say. If you have comprehended the situation properly, then you can understand. So pre, during and post, these are three stages. Pre means what to say, when to say, we can give thought to it. During, how to say. And when we are communicating, if we make some mistakes, maybe stupidity through with the help of through our stupidity, or we make some silly mistakes, let it be. It should not dominate your mind. I have seen in many cases our students begin well, but in the beginning they make some silly mistakes and they start saying sorry sir, it was not my intention, like this. So friends, not to go for all these things, you stick to the topic, not to get diverted. Mistakes are part of life. We learn with the help of mistakes. So important thing is remember all these things. So again I would like to talk of features. So first of all, what I have told you, that situations are important thing, because language cannot be used in isolation. And I have given you example of a small child, how he learns. He tries to cope up with the situation. In the beginning, even a child of 1 or 2 days or a month, what happens? How he communicates with his mother. When he is hungry, what he does? He starts crying. Immediately mother comes to know that the fellow is hungry, the fellow is feeded, and his hunger gets satisfied. So this is what child learns to know, that whenever I am hungry, I should cry. So this is what communication between mother and son. So important thing is we should cope up with the situation, association of sound and meaning, keeping in view what are the situations. So you observe people, because we say that we are not going to listen anyone, just we want to speak. We have seen in many cases, being an English teacher, I frequently encounter the problems that whenever I say my student that okay, you start write an essay or start do this, they start working. They don't give any thought to that. That should not be the case. So important for using creative and authentic language. Authentic means in particular situation which type of language is used. Creative use of language. Earlier I gave you example of Rapidex English speaking course, Climax English speaking course. What is the problem lies with them? Many of you might have bought these books, might be using these books. No harm. I am not saying that you should not. But friends, imagine what will happen if you go to the bank, if you go to post office and you have crammed all the sentences given in that lesson. Go to the post office, means at the post office or at the bank or at the hospital, and you start well, but there is no surety that suppose you are asking some question to the person concerned, but is it necessary that the fellow might be using Rapidex language, might have read Rapidex and you will be using the same structures which are given in the Rapidex? Then at that time what will you do? So it is better to focus on authentic language, creative use of language. This is a pen and that is a ball. Child listens both. This is a pen, that is ball. That is a picture. They can frame new sentence. So this is what we find creativity, and it is used in means day-to-day life. So what I say, don't rely on your cramming abilities. Make use of authentic and creative language. And parents, they are pleased when they listen to their words that oh, they are using language. So they become very happy and they encourage. And in your case, now question comes, who will encourage you? Friends, language is not learnt in isolation. You can have means your informal groups. You can have discussion. You can means give your opinions on particular topic. If they come to ask your advice, at that time you can ask them, you can tell them what can be done. So this is what creative and authentic use of language. So first of all, in other words, I will say that you should understand the situation properly and then start using this. And mistakes are a part of life. Don't get distracted with the help of mistakes. Oh, we are making mistakes. Oh, I have made this much mistake, this number of mistakes. Let it be. Friends, I tell you that hardly from those who are speaking using English in India, 2% out of that number, the number is very small, and I am saying that out of that number, hardly 2 to 5% speak correct or chaste English. And you are beginners. If you do not make mistake, then who will make? And we learn. Clear? So don't go with the negative frame of mind. Encourage your friends, advise them. Whenever they say, don't make fun, because it is often seen that whenever they say something or whenever somebody tries to say something in the class, people starts laughing. That is a wrong practice. You should avoid that thing. Clear? So what is the need? Okay, what they want to see, we should give them ears. If you are agreeing or disagreeing, that is different thing. Important thing is you should give ears to them, and then you can be politely agree or disagree. Functional approach. And here I have talked of translation of communicative competence. Skill based learning. Our purpose is not to spend time on grammar, because who likes to be taught grammar? Friends, from which class did you start studying English? Right from class 4th or 5th. Nowadays English has been made compulsory right from primary classes, right from class 1st. But nobody wants to be taught grammar. And I have heard a few years back in Times of India, I have read in Times of India, and you will be very happy to know this. It shows how much aversion students have developed towards grammar. And one of the students he was from Delhi, and he had written means a letter to the editor. And what was the essence I am sharing with you, and I hope you will enjoy this. means it shows attitude towards grammar. And when I die, bury me deep. When I die, bury me deep and put my grammar books at my feet. And put my grammar books at my feet when I die. When you are going to bury me, put my grammar books at my feet and tell my English teacher that I have gone to rest and I will not come back for grammar test. So this is what we have developed hatred towards. Hatred is a strong word. Means we dislike grammar. And unfortunately in schools and colleges our precious time is being dominated by grammar teaching. There is no harm in teaching grammar, but the problem is we are teaching them in isolation. So here in communicative language teaching, what is important thing? We should give time to listening, speaking, reading and writing. And functional use of many structures can be used for performing one function. Shut the door. Shut the door. Shut the door. Please shut the door. Would you mind shutting the door? Why don't you shut the door? See, why don't you shut the door? In many situations it can be used. Means it is very cold, why don't you shut the door? It is very noisy outside, why don't you shut the door? You are giving command, you are making request. Oh, it's very cold, why don't you shut the door? It's a request, command. We are complaining, why don't you shut the door? I have told you number of times. This is what you will have to. And this is not a big thing, friends. You can start. Our purpose is, through scope, our purpose is to bridge the gap between what is taught in the classroom and what is required in the society. Here in this scope lecture, you can use immediately after the class. Means no need to have time. Immediately after the class. What is wrong in using good morning, greeting people? New Year is on the door, means approaching very fast. Soon you will be celebrating New Year. At that time, how will you be? Conveying good wishes to others. So at that time, this is also one of the functions. So what I say, if you are aware and if you are keen observer, you can come to know that there are many ways, but keep your eyes and ears open. Be open-minded, not to go with the negative frame of mind. Clear? So earlier it was said that listening and speaking is traditional, it is of no use in schools and colleges. We find focus is on reading and writing, but nowadays listening cannot be ignored. I fully agree. Whenever I meet teachers, they say that we don't have time to give listening practice, to give speaking practice to each and every student. But here through scope, language labs are given. You can record your speech there. You can listen to your speech. What is wrong? You can compare it. And one more thing I would like to suggest. Friends, you have mobile phones. Why don't you record? You can have recording of 1 minute. And at ease. It is not necessary that it should be done in the classroom. Whenever you are free in your study room, whenever you are free, you are alone, you can get it recorded. When two friends are talking, get it recorded. So this is what purpose is. Look at the slide number 3, point number 3, that the students listen and produce what is meaningful, authentic, unpredictable. The problem is we predict that this would be happening, and if does not get happen, then we get perplexed what to do. So creative use is required. So listening and reading, these are interpretive and receptive, because many answers can be given to them. They are receptive, but our further communication depends on this. Now we have talked much about reading, listening and speaking. Now reading and writing. They are not at all less important than other skills. Friends, so you are a student and you go to library, you find books in library. How will you find out what is important in the book? So I advise you that with the help of sub skills of reading, skimming means this is sub skills of reading. You can have quick look. right from beginning till end. Quick look means you can go to the index portion, you can see contents, which are the contents given, what are the chapters given, okay, and then you can select. So this is skimming, means quick look. Then comes scanning, means when we are locating for particular information, so at that time scanning comes for rescue. Clear? So what I say, we are talking of creative, authentic use, so these are going to help you. Next thing I would say, express your feelings and experience, share your experience with others, not to be shy, not to be hesitant. I have seen in many cases that students, they shy, they are afraid of making mistakes, they are afraid of being ridiculed, that other students, I will become object of fun. I should not. I advise you that give up your hesitation, in whichever you are speaking, that is okay, and if teacher is sensible, they will not take it otherwise. On the contrary, they will encourage you. So for making meaningful, describing day-to-day life means use your background knowledge. Navratri festival, we talk of vibrant Gujarat, we talk of global Navratri. So why to take topics which are given in Latin and Greek, means foreign topics? It is better to use the English, means use our own topics. We can talk of forest of Junagadh, we can talk of Sasangir, we can talk of Chotila, we can talk of Pavagh. So why to take situations which are foreign to us, which are alien to us? Why don't we talk of, I give you one situation. During Navratri festival, many foreign tourists come to India and they want to see what is Gujarat, they want to see many persons, many places, they want to meet people, what is the food, what is the, means what about the weather. So at that time you can have role playing, you can have simulation. Role playing means one of you, suppose you are two friends, and one can play role of a tourist, and you can act as a tourist guide and ask questions. Okay sir, I would be coming in the month of September, so which clothes should I bring? So at that time you can say, because you are familiar. So language does not come as a bar here. Here your background knowledge helps you. So my advice is activities. I have talked of